We would like to remind everybody that certain topics of discussion may not be comfortable for all listeners. Certain viewpoints may not reflect those of our partners, sponsors, affiliates, our hosts, or that of our guests. We would like to encourage everybody to keep a respectful and open climate of discussion for all topics, no matter how disturbing they may be. So viewer discretion is advised.
Bald and Bonkers works out so well. But listen, things are chaotic in the world, so yes, we'd like to get a little goofy from time to time. But strange shit is happening. Things that are supposed to have such minuscule odds. Minuscule odds. You would have better odds in playing the lottery ticket and winning 10 times over than the odds of certain paranormal events taking place. Yet these things are happening, and they are happening more. So we need to have a discussion. We need to have an unfiltered, unbiased discussion and get as many people involved to realize, hey, something big is about to happen. And yes, the world is chaotic. We know. Again, that's why we act like total idiots. That's why we aren't afraid to show our true colors. But at the end of the day, you can't argue that perhaps we are on the verge of some of the greatest discoveries mankind has ever experienced.
And that is why we bring you the Bald and Bonkers Show.
Baby, you can get on my boat and make it rock, yeah.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to what is already going to be a very strange episode. You saw what happened last night when we just barely briefly mentioned the topic of UFOs. So let's see what happens when we have our guest here today, recommended by our dear friend Lisa Fry from My Mystical Life.
Right.
Aaron, it is finally awesome to meet you.
Very
It
nice
is-
to meet you.
It's really awesome to be here. I really want to thank you guys for having me.
It's going to be an interesting night tonight. The live was starting there. It was weird because my screen just went totally black, and it was honestly, I don't know if it happened for you or Dakota or MD in the chat, but my entire screen just went black.
I was starting to get some sort of
And-
interference on my end.
Yep, I think we've got a lot of people watching us, but also we've got a lot of entities watching us right now too. So I think they're getting ready to beam me up, as one would say. There, Dakota. I don't know what it is, but with Dakota, it just feels weird. There's a kind of weird energy in the. It's hard to explain. There's a weird kind of energy. Sherry, spiritual investigator, she's even noticing some strange things. And as before we became live, you've got a lot of weird energy coming from you. So, Anne, can you tell a little bit about yourself and how you got into this strange thing?
Yeah, so my interest in extraterrestrial beings started when I was very young. Knowing that, I was brought up in a Christian family,
Mhm.
and the idea that God created humans and like that was it. I couldn't believe that. For the simple fact that I know that with creation you're going to keep creating. You don't just if you have a creativeness to you, you're not going to just stop at one being. So I had gone years just knowing that there were other beings out there.
Oh, yeah.
And then, of course, it got really, really involved when X-Files came out.
Oh yeah,
Really loved following the X-Files.
Everybody loves that.
It wasn't until a couple of years ago when I met my mystical life, Lisa Fry,
Yes.
that things really started taking off, and I really started delving deeper within meditations and within, um, you
Hmm.
the experiences. Um,
Yeah. I mean,
and go ahead.
I was just going to say, Lisa, from My Mystical Life, she is an amazing person, and it was her that opened it up for me and Dakota. But off you go, please.
Um, through Lisa and my mystical life, I learned a lot of different things that I could do for reaching out. And so, practicing in meditations and reaching out, there were a few times that I've met Ashtar within a meditation. I have been
Hmm.
on the Galactic Federation ship. And, this was through meditation. Well, in comes Dr. Greer, and I really started following what he was talking about in regards to
Hmm.
the CE5 or Close Encounters of the
Yes.
Fifth Kind, meditation and contact. And right away I'm like, ding, that here's something that I can utilize to have physical contact, to have
Yes.
a ship, if it's safe for them to show up and blink and give Morse code in light,
Yeah.
or beings or energies, certain, coming around that you can feel, that you can sense.
Hmm.
So that was really the huge takeoff point. And I got very interested in it. I've been practicing it quite a bit, and now I'm running the CE5 meditations for our group on my mystical
Yeah.
life.
I must admit, the CE5, it's a brilliant app. I use it quite regular. And I didn't believe it at first. It was actually the quote I hear. It says, "Well, you should get the it's an amazing app." So I got it and I tried it and I seen some strange things, like triangles in the sky and stuff like that. And it blew me away. It did. It blew me away, and it opened a new door. So Dakota, would you like to take it away, my friend?
No, I will concur. As far as with Lisa, she helps open the doors for some stuff I've been
Oh yeah.
trying to figure out. That apparently I've had visitations for most of my life. But for those who don't know, there was an incident when I was 5 years old where I ended up 30 miles away from home one night, thankfully in my grandparents' place, and apparently they had something to do with it.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know. Tonight itself is feeling weird. Chris and Eric can validate me. It's just that just before we went live, I saw this image of what looked like a ship that had a bit of a concave to it.
Hmm.
Then I just felt obligated to start writing a bunch of crap down, and that's, well, we'll go ahead and bring it up since I'm on a decent camera. That's what I was starting to get.
That's quite interesting. That is it in English or is it what's it? What's it in? What does
That
it
ain't
say?
English. That ain't English. If that's English,
Oh,
I'm
Owen, use the
proud.
universal translator when you want it.
Yeah, I know, right? But I
So,
recognize some of the symbols as Enochian, so that'll be
oh,
interesting.
They might have been speaking cursive.
Of course. Why wouldn't they?
mm,
Mhm.
that's very true. I mean, I know they like to use the is it the light language? They like to use that quite regular. I've noticed that that's quite a profound one that they use. Because I found myself trying to speak it, and I don't know why. It must be like a kind of universal kind of language that they all speak. And they all can understand each other. So can I ask you, Anne, what kind of have you experienced with the CE5 when you first tried it?
When I first tried it, I was out in my backyard. I put
Mm-hmm.
I went through the steps of the on the contact app. Um, and after the meditation, I just sat there, just still, deep in within the meditation, and behind me where our fence is. Now this could have been an animal. I'm all for debunking things. Um, but so I didn't look or anything, but there was like something on the fence. I heard like not really claws, but like just something brushing up against the fence, and I heard a
Okay.
footstep on the stone. We have a stone backyard, and I heard a footstep on the stones. Now, again, I did not look, so I cannot validate whether it was an animal or something else. But from my senses, I felt that it was an entity, it was an energy there that came in,
Hmm.
and I feel it was curious and wanted to know what was going on.
That's strange. What are you picking up on, Dakota?
The crop
'Cause I
circle
can
tones are
hear.
starting to play.
Yeah, the crop circle tones.
I'm not playing anything on my end. StreamYard did just add a feature where we can upload audio files now, but
It's
they're
weird.
playing.
They're playing.
That
I
means
can
they're
hear them.
close.
Can you hear them,
They're
man?
close. They're close.
That
One thing I can tell you about the crop circles and tones that they use, they are extremely high vibrating, to the point that
yes.
last night, quite a few people in the meditation that I was doing for the group were having a lot of neck issues, a lot of straining. Like, we were just sitting there. Yeah, like
Yeah.
exactly like
Yeah.
that, Dakota. It was, but we weren't moving, but our necks were very strained. Um,
Yeah.
some of the tones were giving headaches, and so one of the I was saying this before we started on the being part of Dr. Greer's CE5 ambassador program. He does
Hmm.
a monthly chat. And so the next time he has one and I'm in there, I'm going to ask him exactly where these tones came from. Because I feel that like at least some of them could be like the mechanical sounds used or coming out of a machine, like a radiation or those radiation machines that they use to check for radiation,
Mhm.
um
Yes.
because there are radiation type energies that are left in the crop circles. So I'm gonna find out exactly where those tones came from.
Actually, I have a couple of thoughts on that. First up, we do have a member within our own little network who absolutely
Mhm.
cringes at even the mention of the tones because for some reason when they go to start playing, it starts cinching up the back of his neck. Now, as for me, I was just kind
Yes.
of making a smart ass joke because every time I go to start playing CE5 tones, all of a sudden I'm looking up and boom, there's something right there. Just walking home from work one night,
Yeah.
I was just walking home, was just passing this church, all of a sudden, and this elongated triangle manifests right above me. Flies. It was close too. This was not just some random light in the sky. It was close enough. It was light of a full moon. The second it got into the light of the full moon, I could start saying like, "Wait a sec." At first, I thought it was just like an owl for how close it was. And it was like, "Wait a sec, that's not it." Of course, I'm scrambling, try to get pictures. Of course, it disappears the second I do that. But anytime that I've also done UFO investigations and they manage to collect videos, sometimes if you
Hmm.
enhance the audio, you'll hear what sounds like the crop circle tones playing. So it could very well be just
I
the
will admit,
energy of the craft singing, for lack of a better word.
see, that's the thing. I've noticed. See the crop circle tones. It sets me off. It puts me into a kind of weird. See, because I could hear it there, it's weird. I feel kind of weird. I feel like I'm. How can I say this? It feels like space. You know the kind of feeling. The kind of feeling like like you just can't do anything. You know, like you've been at a location that's played a lot of music, and then you walk outside, and you've got that kind of weird kind of feeling in your head. I've got that right now, and I can still hear those tones playing, which is
They
strange.
stick with you. They really stick with you. And again, I really feel that they are extremely high vibrating tones. And I know that the
Mhm.
reason why we use them for the C5 meditation is not only does it give us something to focus on in the beginning, before the actual meditation, but it also is like a beacon, it's like having a big radar dish in your backyard and sending a signal out, boom, 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 boom,
Mhm.
and it goes out into deep space. Um, and you can amplify it even if you have like a walkie-talkie. They also say this in the app: use a walkie-talkie and place the
Mhm.
phone speaker right on the walkie-talkie. Press transmit, and it's like having that a bigger radar dish. So it basically it gives it to anybody or any beings that can hear it. It's like a hey, something's happening here. Let's look and see what's going on.
It's weird. Can any of you still hear the tones? This is so crazy,
I'm
by the way,
still
because I've never
hearing it.
heard them last so long like this. It's. I'll tell you, I'm getting a tone now. I'm getting a different tone now. I'm getting the one Mount Shasta one.
That's an aggressive one.
That's a very interesting tone. The Mount Shasta one. And
I'm
can-
hearing a
it's,
tingling. Like
it's so weird. It's we're not playing like it's. I'm not playing it. I've my phone's on the live. It's weird. It's like, oh my god. I'm connected to the live. That's just so crazy. It's weird. It's kind of like it started off the night. It started off the night like an electric razor buzzing, right? And now I'm getting like flashes. Mount Shasta. I don't know why.
Mount
I can see the mountain.
Shasta, has a lot of not just spiritual, but a lot of extraterrestrial type of
Yeah.
energies. Um, and the other thing about Mount Shasta, I mean, almost everybody knows about Telos, who is in the community,
Yes.
I'm sure. Um,
Yes.
there is a pyramid on Mount Shasta. I can't
Mhm.
remember the name, but up here, up in Washington, is the sister pyramid to Mount Shasta's, and it's called Metatron's pyramid. And there's a connection. So there is now a connection between Shasta and Kalama, Washington. Um, and the energies going between. I'm wondering if you're hearing that because my wife Isis and I had just gone up to Metatron's pyramid, and we did a healing Reiki session there. And we did a lot of stuff converging. Yeah, sorry, converging
Break.
with
It's.
with
I'll tell you that. I'll take. It's.
What is
It's no as if it's coming from. It's strange. It's as if it's coming from like you, Aaron. That is weird. And I just heard the voice there.
it?
Did you hear that? Did any of you hear that in the chat? Anybody?
That was a Pleiadian accent.
It was. It's weird because
This is
I'm
one of the
picking
weirdest
the vibe
episodes.
off the people in the
We're
chat.
not even half an hour in. This is already one of the weirdest episodes.
There's people in the chat. I'm picking it off of people in the chat. There's what's her name? I don't know. I'm getting an awfully weird feeling for her. I'm picking it
Yeah,
off Ezekiel. I can pick it off there's a weird. I don't know what it is. That's so weird. That, by the way, and oh my god, it's like there's everybody in this room. Everybody that's watching this right now is all connected in some way, especially in the room. Lisa, Anne. That is so weird. It's weird. I can just feel the connection. It's hard for me to explain. Do you understand, Anne?
Yeah,
I can
I
feel
feel
the
that it's
connection.
Metatron. I feel that Metatron is the connection point, for all of this happening. Um, he works deeply with both Isis and Lisa.
Yes.
Um, and a lot of a lot of our group have have the as we all know it as 2x4 therapy from Metatron. Um, Metatron was one of the big leaders behind the migration from Lemuria to Telos.
Yes.
Um, and there's, we're going back to Mount Shasta, there is a bubble around Shasta and, from this energy. um, Metatron works in so many different, facets, in regards to these other high vibrating beings. And it is really hard to describe the energy.
Yeah. I've never felt it as strong as this before. I've felt it like this when I've been doing my meditation. I've felt
I
it
can
like
tell
this.
you,
Never.
I've felt it that strong before,
Ever.
but I can't exactly describe the activity in which was taking place on YouTube. And I don't know. I also find it kind of funny. It's probably just the way the lights hit and the way Aaron's eyes seem to kind of close, kind of like those reptilian clips every now and then. Just like
I actually have
it's weird. When you go on,
I actually have a thing on. There. I have a lightning thing that puts a little lightning on my face. I'd love to use.
Yeah,
This
is one of the most weirdest nights I've ever had. I mean, I usually, when I do my meditation and stuff like that, I usually experience things like this, but it's usually myself. I never really share it with others. The only other person I share it with is him. And with Dakota, that's the only other person I shared my knowledge with when they come through. That's so weird.
That's Metatron's
It's because
voice.
I think it's like there's somebody in the chat there. It's as if we're all connected. There's something going on. This is weird. This is too weird. I don't know what it is, but I've never felt this way before. It's just so. And I'm drawn to that cube. I'm drawn to that cube in your t-shirt. I do not know why. I've always been drawn to that. I've actually got a stone with that on it behind the laptop.
So this is Metatron's cube. It is it's both sacred geometry, but it is also when you put it into 3D, it also becomes a Merkaba.
Yes.
Which is how we travel, it's our light vehicles and how we travel, conscious wise, through meditations. So it's an extremely powerful symbol and very protective at the same time.
It has that protective kind of thing to it, but I don't know what it is. It's just I feel like I'm connected to every person in that chat tonight. It's like every single person in this room right at this very moment in time is connected. Do you understand what I'm saying, Aaron?
Yeah.
It's like Lisa, you, me, Dakota, absolutely every single person in there is connected somehow. Now it's went for the Mount Shasta tones to what's that other one? I can't remember what it's called. I think it's Dr. Stephen Greer's own one. It's like a. It was one that was. I think it was electronically made. It was. What's it called again? I can hear it. That's so interesting. I mean, can I ask you something, Anne? Where else
Yeah.
do you go when you meditate? What other locations in the universe did they take you?
So my meditations, I really, I go to I do a lot of shamanic journey to, to my grove, so to speak. When I go into deeper meditations, I fall into a trance and I don't remember the places that I've gone.
See, it's different for me. I remember everywhere I go. But I don't remember talking to Dakota or Sherry. I only remember when I look back at the messages. But I remember it's strange. I don't remember doing it. I remember doing it all after it, like maybe a day or two after it. And I'm like, what in God's name have I went and been speaking to them? And I'll notice it. It's one of the, have you ever been to the Akashi Records?
Yes.
What have they showed you?
Big. It was a big building, kind of like a. If you think of like a county library, it was just a huge building, gold
Yeah.
encased with gold. Like white light that you couldn't like you can't describe how beautiful and warm it was, and
Yes.
inside just halls and shelves and just um and I want to say that there was a front desk and I
Yes.
want to call her a librarian that was behind the front desk that's like there, and she didn't say anything, she just pointed, and and so I followed where she pointed, and I found this little nook and it was where I was supposed to be
Yeah.
sitting. So
Yes.
each of us have our own seats in this, our own little places. Um, of course, and everybody from my mystical life is going to laugh. Mine was in the corner. Um, and when and then my Akashic record guide had brought me a book. And it's like it was like the feeling I think this is what you're looking for.
Yes.
Now, this is going to be odd, but the book lifted up. It was like in a Disney movie. It lifted up
Mm-hmm.
and it opened itself to the exact pages that I'm supposed to go to, but I couldn't read it. Like it wasn't in braille, but there were. It
It
was really
was.
weird.
Was it in weird kind of? Was it in weird kind of writing? It was like an ancient form of writing. It was like maybe. I'm going back to Aramaic. It was like Aramaic, but it was something ancient, and you couldn't remember it. I can remember.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about, because in mine, I went to this place and I walked through these big wooden doors, and it was like a cathedral inside, but it was infinite. It just kept going, and the person took me along and they pointed at a book, which was sitting in like a pillar, right? And they opened it for me, and I cannot remember what I seen, but I can remember writing, but I can only it's like it was like Aramaic. It was something like Aramaic, but it wasn't Aramaic. It was like, oh, how can I say this? It was like Mayan or something like that. It was a weird type of language, and I think my inner self knows what it said. Do you know what I'm saying? But I think the memory was wiped before I could wake up.
You know, I know that one, like, you can get into the practice of going to the Akashic records and and actually sit and learn how to like again another Disney reference, but the words would just kind of come off the page and spell an air.
See, this is the thing with me. I do remember this. I remember this. You know, whoever it was that was standing behind me when they told me this, these words. It says, you can look, but you must come back. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what are you going on about? And it says, the knowledge within is not meant to be known. It's like, I'm here for a reason, to learn, right? In the book was what's meant to happen to me, why I'm here, what I'm doing here, and stuff like that. And they asked me again, do you want to see it? And I went, no. I don't know why I said that. I don't know about Dakota. I think Dakota's getting into a kind of, have you noticed, Aaron? Dakota's getting into a kind of weird kind of... Are you okay there, Dakota?
Since I came on, I know that there's been a lot of energies surrounding Dakota, and that
Yes.
there's messages coming through.
Dakota, would you like to tell us? Or whoever you are?
It's each person carries their own energy, plus the energies that they came here with. And
Yes.
each person's is going to be different, so people are going to have different reactions. And I really feel that the energy that I'm coming in with is really, it's really going to Dakota and bringing some stuff for him to come out.
What you experienced in Dakota?
Sound sequence. I'll have to work with it later.
Yeah. Have you ever? Now this is a place that I get took to, right? This is for Aaron and everybody in the chat. Have you ever been took to the place where you can see souls been born?
Life between lives, as Lisa calls it.
Yes. Life between lives. It's weird. It's like a tunnel. You can see the people walking down it, becoming humans, or it's so strange. Have you ever experienced anything like that, Aaron?
I have not, but as you're bringing it up, I can see the visual of like, for me, what came in was not really a tunnel, but more like a slide.
Yes.
Where like, kind of like there's I like a bunch of I see a bunch of beans, and just a slide, and and it's like at a water park. And there's a long line that's going down the stairs and around the corner, out the block, and and people are just waiting to take the slide down, to come to Earth.
With me, it's this is going to sound weird for everybody that listens to this. It's you ever, obviously you've been in a hospital before. You ever been in a hospital hallway, but there's no doors. It's just like lights all the way in the ceiling, all the way down, all white. and they're walking along, but they're disappearing at the end, and that's them, I think, going to be born. But there's all shapes and sizes. There's like little girls, there's like little boys, there's men, there's women, there's old people, and they're all walking down. And I think that's them. I think that's them. Is it reincarnation? I think that's what I'm witnessing. It's like they've chose, because if you look back, you can see people standing, waving, as if to say good luck on your travels. That's what I see. See, I can remember this because I can remember being born. I've told Lisa about it, and it happened to me. That's what happened to me, and that's what I can see. Do you have any memories like that, Aaron?
Not yet. I have not delved into to memories too far.
Yeah.
So I know that they're there. I just have not delved into to look that far or that deep within.
I
If
find it
that makes
fascinating.
sense.
I understand, but it's like it's weird because it's like I want to know more, but it comes at a price. The more you do it, it can hurt you. The further that you can go, it can hurt you. If you're not prepared. Do you understand what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I suffer for a lot. I do suffer for a lot of health problems. I get terrible migraines, and I think it's because I do it too much sometimes. I go down. I go there too much. Dakota, would you like to take over?
You have been warned several times to withhold yourself, Christopher.
And exactly. See, I've not done it for a while. I've not done it a lot. I will admit, I've not done it for about 2 weeks now. I have tried to control it, but it's like you're an explorer. Do you understand? It's like you're an explorer and you're getting to see the amazing places, these amazing planets, these amazing beings, cities, but it comes at a cost. So that's why nothing's happened for 2 weeks now. I say it for I can feel my friend about. Dakota, on you go, sir.
Honestly, Aaron, there being increased sightings with UFOs, I mean, in my area, almost a month ago, I've gotten a report of a possible crash that, unfortunately, due to the fact that my car's still in the fucking shop, I haven't been able to go check out. But honestly, what do you think is going on with this energy shift a lot of people reference with what's going on like in recent days?
There is a lot of energy shifts happening. As we as a race of humans are becoming, more of us and are becoming more awake or aware of these things. um the earth is a being in and of itself. We talk about her as Gaia. And she is also raising. And we are uh, they are coming here to help with this. There's going to be a lot of things that are going to be happening that are going to be changing a lot of things here on Earth, as we are, um, from what I understand, we are raising from the third dimension,
Yeah.
and going up to the fifth dimension. Um, and right now, Earth is like the, I don't want to say it's the center of the universe because that's very egotistical,
Yeah.
but a lot of attention right now is on the Earth and what's happening here.
Yes.
um, you know, the other thing is that a lot of these, more and more, UFOs that we're seeing now, I want to put this out there, are a lot of times going to be man-made. Um,
Yeah.
Something that we talk about with with Dr. Greer's group, and um, is the last things that Dr. Werner von Braun had said on his deathbed. I'm sure that you guys have heard about this.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
well, that has been in play for about 50 years now.
Yeah.
They're building up, you know, they're building up to this thing, and so that they're the the other beings are sitting back. They're not really wanting to get involved too much because they don't want to be viewed as the threat.
What's your thoughts? What is your thoughts? Right, I'm going to ask it. What is your thoughts on disclosure? What is your thoughts on that? Do you think it will happen sometime this in the next couple of years or ever?
I have a strong belief and strong faith that it will happen. It might not be in my lifetime, but I
Yeah.
feel that, you know, more and more people are becoming aware and seeing what's happening behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Every time a news report comes on, and there's, God rest them, but the school shootings, or
Oh yeah.
something like that, those are happening to try to take our attention away from the other things. It's a whole
Oh yeah.
sleight of hand deal.
Yes.
And you know I really want a lot more truths to come out, hopefully in my lifetime, to where people can realize these things, and see the difference, and see, look at where,
Yes.
look at where society is versus where they want to see things.
Yeah. I mean, can you imagine if aliens or extraterrestrials, or I just call them both. I mean, if they'd to come tomorrow and give us the technology to save our worlds, and it's it's sad what's happening in this world right now, especially with like the Japanese power station polluting the seas. It's the war in Ukraine. What's going on in this world and the horrible, horrible things that are happening. It makes you wonder. It makes you wonder because I have asked when I've done my travels, what do you think about what's happening? He says, and all they've told me is they've went, it's your path to take. It's like, I don't know when we'll get full disclosure. I honestly don't know. I hope it will be soon. But I've got a feeling it will only be for a long time. I think it's got to be another 20 or 30 years before it fully happens. I really do. I mean, the government do release stuff like the fighter jets chasing after those UFOs, right? But to be purely honest with you, I think that's, as you say, man-made technology. A lot of it is man-made technology. I mean, everybody talks about the secret space program and von Braun and such. It, I would love it to happen, but I don't think it's going to happen for a long time. What do you think, Aaron?
Yeah, and that's a sad thing about it. Um, you know, we have the technology to heal the earth
Oh yeah.
within a matter of hours. We
Yep.
have the technology to bring food, water, and all necessities that every human being
Hmm.
needs to all the places on this globe. We have the technology to get out from the utility systems, and paying for electricity,
Yeah.
that the ways in which we're getting the electricity is harmful. The gases that when we drive a car,
Yeah.
The gases from industrial. All this technology exists, and it's existed for a long time here, well, long before Roswell.
Yeah, yeah, and I can I mean, Nikola Tesla. Look what happened to all his stuff after he died. All mysteriously disappeared with the FBI.
Yep.
Where did it all go? As it's true. I mean, the technology that the government must have stored away. I mean, I've watched programs with Dr. Stephen Greer talking about this and ancient aliens and stuff, about the technology of these some of these ships, UFOs, extraterrestrial ships, some of these things that can go faster than the speed of light. They can travel interdimensionally. The technology can you imagine the world? So you'd give all this technology to the world 10 years, 20 years later. Can you imagine the Earth? But
It would
it'll
be a
not happen. I don't
beautiful
think it'll
place.
happen.
I
Yeah.
have to I have to I have to have belief. I have to have faith that it will, because I I just I just can't see, the world that we are leaving for our children,
Yes.
being worse than when we were children.
Yes.
And so I have to believe that, you know, and all it's going to take is 1%.
Yeah.
And again, this is something that Dr. Greer talks about too. All it takes is 1% of the world's population to change things. All it takes is 1%. Now, we've got close to what, 8 billion people on the planet. So
Yes.
that's 1% is what, 8,000?
Roughly.
Round about that. Yeah.
And from and this is what all of the beings out there, of peace, of love and light, of course, are waiting on.
Yes.
They're waiting for us to make the change, to make the decision.
Yes.
And it's a choice. you know
Hmm.
it's a choice whether we want to continue living as we are, or if we
Yes.
want to raise up. And they're waiting, and once they see that, they will start coming in more, because once they see that at least 1% is changing things, the weapon systems are going to go down. We already know that they can come and disable our nuclear
Oh yes.
weapons.
Yes.
you know and for years, I was just, please just take them away. I watched that. What was
No.
that? Superman 4, when Superman
That's right.
takes
Yeah.
all the and throws
Yeah.
them into the sun. Oh wait, 80
Yep.
million actually. 1% of 8 billion. Okay,
Right.
80 million. That's still a drop in the bucket in comparison to
Yeah.
8 billion.
It's the
Um,
nuclear weapons I worry about. I mean, you've got this war in Europe raging away, but then when I've been doing my traveling, they've told me do not worry about the nuclear weapons. Don't worry about it, because I honestly do think they would just shut them down. I honestly do.
there have been reports, no, or documented reports that there have been nuclear testing where one government has sent up into space, to a nuclear weapon, and
Hmm.
it disabled, it gone. And that's one way that they are able to help right now, is they have the ability to take those away once they are
Yes.
in, um you know um interspatial area. um
Yes. I definitely think they've played a part in some disasters too. I think they've helped stop disasters.
yeah.
I mean, there was that Fukushima. It was melting down. The core was melting down. It was going to go off, and there was UFOs seen over it. before it happened and after it happened. And the thing, yes, it's highly radioactive still, but it's not. It never made it to meltdown. It never made it to meltdown, and that makes me wonder: did they have something to do with that? Did they?
I believe so. I
Mm,
very much, um, I feel that it was the Galactic Federation that helped us, because that would not have, like, if we are going to destroy ourselves, they won't stop. But if
yeah.
something happens on a level like that, that they that wasn't by choice, that wasn't somebody
Yes.
pushing a button, I feel that they will come in, and that they have in the past,
Yeah.
that they come in, and um they can very much only be in the third dimension for a brief second,
Yes.
because the energy weapons that there are right now, that will take them down, and long, if it's longer than like a nanosecond, but that's
Yes.
all the time that they need.
Yeah. Yeah. I think eventually, if we show, if we show we're willing to work with them and save this planet, I think it will happen. But we have to stop. We have to stop destroying this planet, because this planet is, it's taking a hit. Yeah, the planet will probably, even if all the humans had to die in the next 100 years, it will probably regenerate again, right? But I think if we can show them that we respect this planet and we respect others, they will eventually show up. Dakota, what
Yeah.
would you like to add? Anything?
When it comes to disasters like Fukushima, they easily have the technology to redirect the energy outputs to where they can disperse it into an empty enough void of space to where those ionized particles, if they were to hit any other planet, at most, it would probably cause a minor lightning storm, in theory.
Yeah.
But I do have one question. There is a lot of attention, and there was even a message left for me not too long ago that indicated the same thing, that something big is going to happen. Well, I should say in the next couple of weeks, but for the month of September. What are your thoughts on that?
we um we did a in my mystical life, she does a trans mediumship healing sessions, and this it was brought up in the last one, which was just Thursday. um there is there's a constant wave of change that happens, a constant wave of energy, that helps progress change.
Mhm.
And what through Lisa, what Oz was saying to us was that it's going to affect Neptune the greatest right now, the wave that's coming through. She- Oz also had told us that it's going to be an exit point for a lot of people. A lot of people are going to be like, throwing the towel type of thing. Um, and but the ones that stay, were it's going to be something that we can use to build upon, to build a better, to build the world that we want to see, not the world that we
Yeah.
are living in right now. It's
Yeah.
going to be a time of creation. Now the sad thing about creation is sometimes you have to tear something down
Destroy.
in order to in order to recreate it. So I really feel that there's going to be I don't want to say on what scale, but I feel that there's going to be a big change happening. And I believe it was September 19th was the date that I heard.
Yes. Hmm.
Um, and but this is going to be a big turning point, and it's really going to help us to see what we are going to do, what we're made of, if we're wanting to live in the same type of, destructive behavioral, society, or
Yeah.
if we're going to raise the bar and not accept anything lower than where we set the bar at.
Yeah. I agree with you there. There's something's going to happen in September. I've been getting a lot of like kind of disturbing dreams. War. I will say this war, but war like you've no seen before. War, different type of war. I wouldn't say nuclear because I don't think they'll let that happen. But I've had a lot of like it's like maybe premonitions where I've seen like cities totally gone. So it makes you wonder: is it nuclear weapons or is it other type of weapons? Dakota?
Certainly, you see a lot to think about. Thursday night, it's funny you mentioned that. There was a visitation I had. For those who've been following the show for a while, the Cliff Notes version of it is that apparently I'm part of the Starseed program. Apparently, there's a wife I have waiting for me at the end of this run, and we have had 2 children together with me in this body. I have enough people have actually been visited by these beings to where I was able to utilize AI to render pictures of them.
Yes.
The other night, now they've kind of stepped back a bit because I have been moving house, so as some of you may notice, the scenery's a little different. They stopped by and said, "Hey, we just wanted to come see you." Towards the end of the visitation, there was one last message to where she said, 19 days till I see you, my love. I was like, it's either going to be really sweet or really fucked up because. Oh, yeah, Mom, you know those mating aliens? Yeah, your grandkids are up there.
See, this is the thing. This is obviously there's people in the chat that are maybe experiencing the same as you, Dakota. And Aaron, do you have any relations up in the kind of cosmos? I just thought I would ask. I might as well, you know.
I'm pretty sure I do. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that, you know, because when we were spirit form, we're always making connections. It's kind of like, when we branch, here on earth we branch out, we make business connections. We
Mm,
make, we're making so many connections up there. Even as we speak, we're making connections. We're finding other beings, other, entities, other energies that we can, make a life with, that we can, that will help us with lessons that we want to learn, and that match the lessons that they want to learn. So we're always making connections. So I definitely feel, that there are other beings out there that, I'm in relation with.
mm. So you're gonna wake up in the pod then? It's like when we had Elena on. What was it? What was that we were talking about, Dakota? Where you says you'll wake up
Oh,
in a
God.
pod. I have to bring it up again. I have to bring this up
Okay.
again. I'll let you
Let me
explain it.
establish the
I'll mess
story.
it up.
All right, Aaron, are you familiar with Elena Dinan?
The name is very familiar.
Okay.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, she is a French woman, very educated. She's spent a lot of time in Egypt, practiced shamanism. We've been trying to figure out a way to arrange a meet between her and Lisa, but the last time we tried that, Lisa had COVID. So, anyway,
Yeah.
when I learned that there was probably that it was looking more and more likely that yes, I do have some sort of relation. I have a wife up there. My first concern, once I got over the initial shock that made me sound like '90s Tim Allen, anyway, was that does that mean that all of the relationships I've been in this body, does that mean that technically I've been cheating? Being that it was through Elena's books, I read through them, and it just resonated to the point where I recognize certain points. I recognize places she's been to. I figured she'd be the best person to ask. She's like, well, and everybody got so upset because I asked, am I cheating? That it became kind of a joke to where I got sent a t-shirt that said alien womanizer. That's what Chris is talking about. It's just that the joke was that I would wake up in the pod and my wife would be standing there with a knife, and it's just like, oh god, what did I open up here?
Or either that, I've got a divorce. I've just been to Venus to see the lawyer.
You know, I don't feel that it would be cheating because when we come into this existence for I mean, we're here to learn lessons, but we're also here to enjoy the things that we cannot enjoy on other places, in other places. And so, being, you know, no, I don't want to sound like I'm like, but we're here for we're here to learn our lessons, but we're also here to experience the things that we can't other places. So I don't feel that would necessarily be cheating. But again, it also depends on the contract that you have with this other being.
For further follow-up visitations, it was my understanding that she wasn't necessarily fond of the idea, but she understood that I'm going to do what I'm going to do because, by all accounts, my understanding is technically I was not even supposed to know about her yet, but certain things happened to where rules got bent, truth got revealed, and it was only a matter of time before I figured out all the pieces, which thankfully Lisa ended up being a part of. That day still shocks me today.
I mean, right. I mean, what they've told me is see Earth is one of the most hardest places to come to.
Yeah.
An entire this galaxy anyway. It's one of the most hardest places to try and fit in. A lot of people don't make it. There's a lot of starseeds out there, and it's quite funny because when I talk to the ones that talk to me, they laugh quite a lot, and they just laugh about this planet, because they say humans are totally, absolutely, completely, and utterly different to the rest. They say we're unique, and I agree with them. I will agree with them there. We are definitely unique.
Earth is the school of hard knocks. This is, and there are going back to that the analogy about the hallway and coming where souls are born and coming in here, coming to Earth. There's a long line of people, or of beings, of energies waiting and waiting and waiting their turn to come here. And because it's where the hard lessons can be learned, in a place where you've got, I mean, pick your choice. You've got so many different lower vibrational feelings and emotions and energies here that they're not on other places. Now, ego is everywhere. Like, every being to a certain extent has ego, and this was something that was brought up, within the transmediumship. So we're not the only beings that have ego, but because we're human, our egos are very.
Nope.
Excuse the motorcycle.
ET on a motorcycle.
Yeah. um, our egos are very high, high up, in the scale of things, that we pay attention to, with our conscious and our subconscious.
Yeah.
um and dang it, I lost my train of thought. The motorcycle just took my train of thought away.
You're talking about the
Yeah.
subconscious that keep you in there, you know.
um but this is a place where we come to do the hard stuff, you know but what we don't what a lot of people don't realize is, as long if we're here to do the hard stuff, that also means that there's fun stuff too.
Oh yeah.
And we tend to lose sight of that. you know yes, Earth is extremely difficult, but
Mhm.
there's so many things that are so fun, like
Oh yeah.
jumping off some rocks into a big thing of water, a big lake of water. Um,
Mhm.
things like that are just so enjoyable. Um,
Yeah.
so I really feel that that Earth is about balance. We have to balance the hard lessons with the fun, with the
Yes.
enjoyments. So that way and it's never just going to be a straight line. It's always going to be ups and downs,
Oh
ups and
yeah.
downs.
Yeah.
But that's why we're here.
Yes. But where are we going? That's the question. I mean, where is the future humanity going to be in, say, 100 years, 200 years from now? Will we still be here? That's the question. And I think a lot of people will be asking that. Can we do it? Can we actually manage to pull this off? Hopefully. I believe that we can if we really try. I really do.
With So this isn't humans' first go around on this planet.
No, not been here
Um,
before.
like our science says that the Earth's been around for 4.7 billion years.
Yes.
You know, I mean, I'm not going to say science is wrong, but I feel that it's been a lot longer, and
Mhm.
our science just hasn't caught up with things, and hasn't under uncovered the mass displace of knowledge.
Yeah.
But I feel that we're in our fifth or sixth iteration.
Yes.
There were dinosaurs, there were things before. So this is like in humans' fifth or sixth iteration. And what the you know I feel that if things continue going on the path that they're going with this ascension process, and with us waking up to our gifts, to who we truly are, and what we're truly here for,
Yeah.
I feel that we are going to make it another 100 years. I feel that we're going to make it quite a few years. It's just that again, going back, the 1%. We need that 1% to change.
Yes. I mean, all we need is a chance. All we need is a chance to get into the stars, right? If we can go and stay, if we can colonize Mars, and then colonize the rest of the planets, that gives us a chance. Even if something terrible happens to the Earth, there is still life. Will still live on. You know, we just need to try and get to the stars. Obviously, we're already there because obviously the government have got secret technology that we're probably already among Mars. We're probably already on there. I mean, the things that we're probably doing right now, but it's all secret. It's not getting shared with us people. Dakota, what's
Right.
that?
Well, you also got to remember there's a lot of beings that are watching us who aren't
Oh yeah.
exactly very fond of us. They
Hmm.
think of us as as essentially an invasive species. So all this talk of wanting to go to Mars, we go to Mars thinking that we're land on this big empty rock, all of a sudden, who's to say we're not going to start seeing stuff shooting at us the second we get close enough?
Yes.
That is actually something that I believe Lisa actually brought up one of the times we had her on, was that if we go to Mars, chances are there's going to be stuff coming back. And there's already programs, a couple of which I've been a part of, where they're trying to store information and DNA arcs off world in the event of a great cataclysm that wipes out the planet. Those shots going to the moon later on, supposed to go to Mars, asteroid belt, even outside of the solar system.
Yeah.
Very interesting times we live in.
I mean, Mars is interesting. Mars is a very interesting planet because it makes you wonder what happened there, what caused it to turn that into what it is. It makes you wonder the civilizations that were on that planet that are long gone now. But are they long gone? That's the thing, because there's a lot of reports out there that under the surface of Mars, there's cities, and it's the same as Earth. There's cities under the sea. There's cities under the earth. Ancient civilizations that have been here a long time. What's your thoughts on that, Aaron?
Yeah, there are definitely beings, and we're not going to hear this in the, NASA's, NASA, and the other groups already know this.
Yeah.
The rovers, these things are, the rovers, and all these things that we're doing, from Mars, to see on Mars, they're just exercises in,
Yeah.
they're just exercises, because and I'll give a big case in point. Was it Olympus? In the 80s, NASA gave out a picture of Mars, that, with the face, the famous
Mhm.
face, right?
Yes.
In the early 2000s, NASA said, no, we were wrong, it was just shading, and gave us another picture.
Yeah.
Because again, knowledge is power, and I truly believe that the original picture was not scrubbed. The new one is
Yeah.
scrubbed.
Yeah. What I find interesting about Mars is that we've probably got ships, right, that can travel there in a matter of minutes, right? Right.
Yep.
And we've got these rovers on the surface. As I say, it's for the simple people of this planet to say, "Oh, look, we're on Mars. It's doing its thing. It's driving about. It's looking for life." But in actual fact, we're there walking about already, right? But what I have found interesting, there's been people in the past like billionaires that have been interested in sending their own probes to the Mars, right? And they've not been NASA tied to NASA. Every one of those probes is crashed, never worked. Do you not find that strange? Because it's like NASA can send something there, that's always fine. It's always fine. But someone else sends something there. Oh dear, we've lost contact. Oh dear, it's blew up. Oh dear, it's crashed. I think there's something more. They don't want you to know the truth.
Yep. Truth has
Yeah.
always been hidden. A lot of truths, have really been hidden, and you know I know that they'll come to light at some point.
Yeah.
As far as there are quite a few beings out there, that are colonies of beings that really don't, they're not fans of humans at all,
Yeah.
because and I really feel it's because of our destructive nature,
Yes. Yes.
that
I
that, that
mean,
they're like, humans just, you know let them be on Earth. But if they try to bring their war stuff out here, we're going to put a stop to that.
yes. That's what I think about. I mean, you think about it. You're you're for a different planet. right? You're here in your ship, you're sitting in your ship, and you're like, oh no, the humans are starting to found technology. They can come in, they can start going from planet to planet, and they're thinking to themselves, oh good God, they're going to bring their traits with them. They're going to bring their greed for minerals, right? They're going to start taking over planets for minerals, right? And then they're going to bring the other problems that humans have got. We like to fight with each other. I mean, let's just face it, we do. We fight with each other all the time. Humans start a fight, even if there was nothing to fight over, we would start a fight. And I think that's a lot of them are worried. A lot of them are worried that our galactic friends are worried that we get out there, we start causing trouble. But then you get the other humans in this world that's been working with the darker element to the alien races.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that?
I call them the darkers.
Yes.
I just have coined the term the darkers when
Yeah.
talking about them, and they're uh, I do believe that they are they're in cahoots with this government of governments,
Hmm.
organization, whatever you want to call them,
Yeah.
and they're the um but here's the thing: as we are ascending, as we are changing, and our vibration as Earth is changing, the hold that the darkers have is getting loosened up more and more and more.
Yeah.
um and I really think that that's tied in with the September
Yes.
issue, Dakota.
Mhm.
um that that this is I mean, it's going on years and years that that the light, the Federation, the Galactic Federation of Light and Love has been working
Hmm.
towards helping to loosen the grip that the Darkers have had.
Yes.
Um, and you know, it's technology based. Like they have all the like this group, this organization, they have all the money they could ever want, but it's the
Yeah.
technology. And so they're trading things for to the darkers for the
Yeah.
technology.
Yeah. I
And that
yeah.
technology is in wrong hands at that
Yeah.
point.
I do believe, yeah, there's a lot of shady business going on. I do believe that they're given permission to take humans to do bad things to them. I do believe that they're giving the governments, well, it's US government or British government or whoever, they're giving them technology. Oh, here's some technology that's old to us. To them, it's old technology, but to us, it's obviously new. And oh, but we want to take some of your cattle, and we might take a few thousand humans. Yeah, and I honestly think that's what they're doing. They've brokered these deals over the years.
Yeah.
Nah.
And the cow mutilations that you just talked about, the abductions, like we go to the movie, you hear abduction and most people go to the movie Fire in the Sky right away. Like there's a
Yes.
connection there.
Yes.
Um, these are forms of the darkers. These are, that's what they, you know, and it's all part of, again, it all goes back to this fake war that is being set up for, that, aliens are coming here to invade us and, take over. Now, here is where here's where I poke the biggest holes in that, in those theories.
Hmm.
Aliens or extraterrestrials or beings have been here for
Yes.
millennia, hundreds of millennia. They have the they have the technology if they wanted to, that they could have wiped us out already.
Oh
The
yeah.
fact that they
Oh yeah.
don't is the fact that they haven't is the main reason why there's no intergalactic war. There's no
Yes.
you know because they don't see a point in it. To them, war is it's child's play. It's
Yeah.
egos, or it's child's ego play, and they don't resonate. They don't stay in that type of resonation of those feelings and emotions.
Yeah.
Um, I want to say that they are above that. Um, in which we are just now really starting to learn to rise above that, to rise our
Yes.
vibration above that. Um, but they have the technology. If they wanted to, they could come and wipe us out. They're not
Oh yeah.
going to.
It's
And
like people you. It's like the people you get that say, "Oh, that's it. There's an invasion coming. That's it. They're coming to take us out." And I say to them, I say, "Look, they've been here for a while. They have been here for a while. They've been here before humans were here. I, they could easily just wipe us out. We're we're nothing to them. The technology that they hold, they could destroy this earth like that, and
yep,
still leave all the buildings standing. All humans would be dead. Yeah, there you go.
Dakota, did you want to chime in?
No, I'm just agreeing with you there. Just
He's just
realizing,
listening. He's just listening.
I'm, I'm, I'm just listening. It's like we talked about it before you came on. This episode's gonna be a very, very interesting addition to the documentary, and let's just hope my computer doesn't decide to blow up when I start finally putting this thing together because there's so much here.
Yeah. Can I share what's Dr. Stephen's queer theory? Because I know he's been all the documentaries and that, and he met with aliens and stuff like that. What has he experienced? What kind of stuff has he experienced with the CE5?
He has experienced calling in ships,
Yeah.
talking with them, a lot, like as you've seen in the movies. A lot of times during their C5 protocols, at least one person will have a little green laser that they'll shine up,
Yes.
and make a little, like, beep 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 with it, turning
Yeah.
it on and off, and the ship will do the same back. And
Yes.
there's, like, they'll talk in Morse code, or a type of code like Morse code. um
I was going to ask, have you ever experienced abduction?
I have
I
not.
don't mean no. Do you
No.
know anybody that's ever experienced that type of thing, taking you away?
In meditation, yes. In
Right.
like, um like, it's, hey, we want to show you this.
Yeah.
um but physically, no.
See, that's the thing that I don't get. I mean, I get the experiences that meditation, right? But I've also had the abduction, and some of them it's been alright, but some of it has been the dark ones that's done it, and I don't know why they did it. I think it's because I can communicate with our friends, friends. I think I don't know why. I mean, I had an experience through the week there. I was telling the co I'm not going into it now, but it was horrific, and I was not well after it. And I can tell what the ship was like inside. It wasn't nice. It wasn't. That's why I was just asking you, just in case you've maybe experienced something, maybe that ones have taken interest in you. Because I've noticed this happens to a lot of people. People that get into this field, they start contacting, the good ones, but also the bad ones will be watching and listening too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I There, for a long time, there was, I had the desire that, I would love to be abducted. I would love to meet, but after, after everything that I have, witnessed, heard, read, watched, yeah, the actual abductions would just be, it'd just be the darkers doing whatever,
Yes.
whatever horrific type of things, and it would just, and then that would just play into the fear.
Yes. It's quite interesting because before I met like Lisa and before I started contact with the meditation and stuff, I've been abducted a few times. I will say a good 30 or 40 times now, right? And those they try and implant false memories. And Dakota will be able to explain this more. What's the false memories, Dakota? Can you explain that a wee bit?
Ow. Not sure we want to go too far because I'm realizing how much over time we've gone.
We've got about 5 minutes left of the show. We'll keep it going to half past because this has been an absolutely amazing show tonight.
Anyway,
But on you go, Dakota.
no, I was going to say, for those not aware, false memories is essentially a trauma-based phenomenon where an experience is too much for that person's mind to handle, so the mind itself may doctor details to try to make it
Yes.
more acceptable to where it's not as heavy a blow. A lot of abduction stories say that their level of technology, and when you consider the fact that the human brain changes literally every second with every sort of stimulus,
Mm-hmm.
that shows a level of sophistication that we drool about in our mainstream, that they have enough understanding to where they can help influence false memories to either protect themselves, the abductee, or to be clicked open at a later date when it becomes relevant.
But the problem is, if you're into the dimensional stuff, into the astral traveling, right, and they take you, you remember you remember it. You remember it because it's your higher self. It's like it remembers. So, like, for instance, I woke up and I can remember what they did to me, but at the same time, I can remember the false memory that they tried to implant on me. They tried to implant in me that I was in a hospital getting something done, right? But I knew for a fact that I was aboard a ship with all black floors. It's so weird. It's like if you don't do the astral travel with the CA5 stuff, right, and you're just a normal person to come and take you, all you'll remember really is that false memory. But once you cross into that realm, like where you go, Alan, where Dakota goes, where I go, and where a lot of the people in the chat goes, it doesn't matter how many times they try and put false memories in, you will remember it. And it doesn't matter how horrific it was, you will remember it. It does something to you. Yeah, do you understand?
Yeah. It the false memories that they put in are they're oh, I just had it. I can, they're for they're malevolent reasons for it. They're
Yes.
malevolent. And it's really, to me, it's really horrible that that this has been allowed to continue to happen.
I think it's not happened as much as it was because I think there's an awakening now, and I think Galactic Federation are trying to put their foot down to stop these kind of things. But it still happens. It still
Yeah.
happens because the dark ones are the dark ones. They'll still be here even once this Earth is fully awake and we're a new society and we don't go to war with each other and we're still doing all this and we're traveling interdimensionally and stuff like that. They will still be here trying to do what they do, right, for some unknown reason.
I'm gonna throw a little wrench into that. For with my feeling is that with this ascension process,
Yes.
the darkers and the lower the groups of people who will remain lower vibrating, who aren't wanting to change,
Hmm.
they're going to have their exit point, and um, the Federation is going to basically take them away and keep them away, so that way
Yes.
Earth can become that better planet. It's still going to be a school of hard knocks, but it will be at least not under this guise of control.
Yeah. What I've learned when I talk to them is that when our time's up here, we do back here. Only if we agree to it. This is our last trip kind of thing. Do you know what I'm trying to say? We're here for a reason and we're here to do what we're doing right now. Right? You can come back if you want, but this is your last trip. I think it's kind of like you've signed up for the thing, you know. So Aaron, you've been here, but my goodness, we've been here for an hour and a half. We've never had a show as long.
This has been amazing. I have loved
Yes.
this, and
Yeah.
the energy right here. I like, yeah, the energy's right in here for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of little like flickers on the cameras, which says that there's a lot of high vibrating energy going through.
Yes, I think that's what I'm picking up on. I'm picking up everybody in the chat and everybody that's watching, and that's everything that I'm picking up on. So Dakota, do you want to say anything before we end the show?
Well, Aaron, I do want to sincerely thank you for coming on. This, like I said, I'm not joking around when I say that this has been one of the most interesting episodes
Oh yeah.
so far. I will want to put this up here real quick because, like I said before, and Aaron knows about this. Bald and Bonkers is working on a bit of a documentary that does focus on the contactee experience. You know,
Mm-hmm.
basically follows the story of a contactee who's gone through enough weird stuff to where they knew that the people that tried to talk him down had no idea what they're going through. So they go and reach out, and basically it's a journey of discovery type thing. And we would like to include as many different people from as many different backgrounds as
Yes.
possible to share their stories to show that it's not just one secluded group of weirdos that this is happening to. It's happening to just about everybody. And it is
Yes.
picking up traction like nothing this world's probably seen for a very long time. So the link is right there in the description. And you can go onto the Bald and Bonkers website. Plenty of time to submit your stuff. There's some very big names also coming in to help us out
Yes,
with
there
this.
is.
So once it comes together, I wasn't joking when I said hopefully my computer doesn't blow up, because we did have a guest that happened to when he was trying to show us pictures he got from his telescope of stuff
Yes.
on the moon.
Yeah.
His computer ended up blowing up and we had to reschedule.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
honestly, Aaron, this has been fantastic, and thank you so much for coming on the show. You'll need to come back again sometime. You'll need to come back again on the show.
I will definitely be doing that, and hopefully by then I will be sporting a Bald and Bonkers shirt myself.
No, we got a merch store.
Oh.
All good to go.
We do. See, I just made this one up for myself, because the shipping cost for the United States is ridiculous. It'd be better build my own spaceship and fly in there to get it.
Oh, yeah, cheap bastard.
I know I'm Scottish. Look, I'm Scottish. I can't help myself. But anyway, I'd like to thank everybody in the chat. Thank you so much for coming, and I would like to thank you all the people that have been viewing us, because our views are all through the roof, which is amazing too. And we'll see you all next week. And catch you all later, dudes. I'll talk to you behind the scenes, Aaron. Catch you later, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
All right.